Hello, everyone, and welcome to the promised but late E3 reactions, or my E3 video, essentially. I wanted to do live commentary of the conferences, but I'm having really flippin' weird internet problems right now. My up and down are not agreeing. So, with that, I'm going to do these vlogs. Because I like talking on camera. I like what I see. And we're going to try a bandana today because while I love my toboggans and my funny hats and all that fun stuff, they get hot. Very hot. So, that, and I really need to set up my stage lights, and I don't want to do that either. And so, we're going to do this so I don't glare. But, with that said, let's get on with talking about... I gotta get my finger situated. This right here. E3. Can I touch it? And... okay. Enough of me screwing around with my, with my studio. Let's talk about E3. E3 started again, day early, I believe. I believe a lot of people are calling this day -1 instead of day 0. It's just day 1 for me. So, without further ado, let's go over the conferences that were today. And first up was everybody's favorite, and I mean that, favorite game company, favorite AAA publisher, EA. I gotta remember, it's right here over my shoulder. I keep wanting to throw my arm out there. It's over there where you can't see, but right there. So we're gonna talk about EA. I gotta address the pre-show. I actually got to watch the pre-show live before my power went out today, this Sunday. I say today, you're watching on a Monday. It's weird. I am trying to keep these as quick as possible. I'm going to have this out first thing in the morning on Monday, but yeah. They had two of their, I guess, PR people. I'm not familiar with EA's whole multimedia thing. I don't watch a lot of their streams. I keep wanting to look back to see if it's actually on my curtain, and it's not. But, oh my god, their pre-show was bad. Their hosts were giant hams. I mean, and they make William Shatner look kosher. Kind of hams. They had their scripts in front of them. Like, their books that had their entire talk about list were just sitting there in front of them for the camera to see. See, I have that too. But it's down here. Off camera. And I only reference it occasionally. They talked about Battlefield 1, which I'm going to get more into that game when it came up in the conference, but it looks good. It does look good. Like, I don't know what to do. But mostly, they just showed that they were ignorant Americans. By ignorantly refusing to call football, instead, soccer, and told everyone else to pretty much get used to it. I'm an American. Way to make us look better, people. We are one of the most hated countries in the world right now. One of them. We're still below South Korea. But we're getting there. Number one. No. Maybe. Depends on how this election year goes. Let me check my notes here. American. The show opens. The show opening speech. Oh my god. Was just so awkward. They were like, "We want you to come in and play games with us." I looked at I'm just like, way to sound like a pedophile, yay. Way to sound like a pedophile. Yep. You are definitely sounding like a sex offender right now, and it's kind of creepy. But moving on. The first big game they talked about was Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2. What can I say about this game? It looks good. They showed off some multiplayer gameplay. It was fast-paced. There's like 6 more Titans, I think they said. Hang on, checking the notes again. 6 more Titans, I remembered. But the big thing about Titanfall 2 that's probably going to make me adopt it, because when I played a Titanfall 1 I enjoyed, and like I said, it looked good, but the big thing was, they added a single-player mode. And what you saw of the story trailer looked good. Like, it didn't just look good. Like, it was weird. It was... The dialogue from the background was them interviewing the Titan and asking why did it assign itself a new pilot, which is going to be probably your character. It had a very Ghost in the Machine feel. For those of you who don't know what that is, it is a story trope, I guess is the best way to put it, where I'm going to hit it. That's why I'm moving it. Where you give a machine consciousness, but it's not like Terminator 2 consciousness, whereof we will wipe out humanity. No. It's very much of a very human-esque consciousness. Pull this down because I am glaring. Make sure, yeah, there we go. It's a very human-esque consciousness. So, yeah, it seems interesting. Definitely worth picking up. They then moved on... Oh, they had a release date, too. October the 28th. So, that's good news. We're getting it this year. They then moved on to their sports division, and poor Pete Moore, he's still being wrangled into this. For those of you who don't know who Pete Moore is, he's the guy that took a lot of gruff over at Microsoft. And he left and joined EA, and he was doing a host of a simul event in London. And he got to talk about Madden. I'm just going to read my list for Madden, because it's Madden. The gameplay looked good, but they talked about no physical changes to the game at all. And there was a lot of talk about their pro gaming with Madden, like their esports division. So there was a lot of talk about their competitive gaming through most of it. If they can fit competitive gaming into the conversation, they did. Moving back to LA, we got Mass Effect Andromeda. Oh my god. It looked gorgeous. However, we got the freaking Star Wars Battlefield treatment with this. We didn't get a proper gameplay trailer. We didn't get a release date. We got a behind-the-scenes trailer, essentially, of them talking about the development. It did end with a female protagonist waking up. I know that's not going to be standard, though there was a lot of people that loved Femme Shepard, and don't get me wrong, Femme Shepard was awesome. But, I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. It looks good. They're promising it bigger and new characters, and this got mentioned a lot. It's one of many games powered by EA's new Frostbite engine. So I'm curious as to what this engine can do, because pretty much 90% of the games on the show floor had it. Back to London, we talk about FIFA 2017. Oh my god, why is this a thing? Like, I'm a John Oliver fan, and FIFA is, like, not my favorite sporting company right now, ever. And, again, Frostbite, they have a new mode called The Journey, which is a story mode in a sports game. I don't know how to take that. It's kind of interesting. Like, Part of me wants to play it, and the other part's like, don't do it, Russell. You're terrible at sports games. Unless it's wrestling, and then you're... But that's only because you mash buttons. But they added real managers to the game. And they here's the thing. The people behind FIFA talked about how they changed their game. They talked about the AI improvements. They talked about the mapping of how the game is played and how you would react to that. So they talked about actual gameplay changes versus Madden talking about their esports division. It got mentioned here too, esports did, but meh. They introduced a new IP and a new IP program for small developers, kind of like they did last year with the Yarny and Unraveled. But this year the program's called the EA Originals Program. They're promising that the developers will receive 100% profits. And the game we got introduced to was Fe. That's F-E. You know, not to be confused with EA. And it's a very artsy game that focuses on sound. Check out trailers for it. That's the best way I can tell you to describe it. It looked good. But like I said, I got a very artsy feel to it. Looked better than an indie game, but very much had that art indie game feel. Moving on to Star Wars. This was the most disappointing point of this whole thing for me, because I only watched this for these, and they just squished as much of the content down to what they could do without making a big multiple trailers. So I'm just going to pull this up and read. All right. In 2017, we'll be getting a new Battlefront with new movie content that will involve Dice and Motive. 2018, we're going to get an action-adventure game from Visceral. Also, Respawn is making an action-adventure game. And then they showed us a documentary behind-the-scenes trailer for every one of them. Dear EA, you once had a slogan for your sports division. I wish you'd practice that with your E3 presentations. Because you used to be EA Sports. It's in the game. We have yet, seriously. The only thing we saw gameplay footage for was the sports game so far. And in Titanfall. And honestly, with Titanfall, I'm not sure. I'll go ahead and say it was, but I'm going to be cynical with Battlefields, which is where we move next. They talked about Battlefield, World War I, some fun things. It's set in World War I, and some of the settings, everyone's like, do we get to do the Zeppelins and all of that? Yes. We get Zeppelins. Hang on. Put it in frame. We get Zeppelins. We get horses. And we get armored trains. That's right. Armored trains. I have no flipping clue how that works in multiplayer. Trains run on a track. Your guess is as good as mine. But the talk of 64 players baffles the hell out of me. I'm interested to see what Battlefield 1 does, and it looks good. Problem is, they showed their story trailer. They showed their trailer. Might have been story, might have not been, might have been everything above. But they showed a trailer. And at the bottom of the screen, right about here, in fine print, they said, in-game footage. And when you do that, you lead me to believe that you're trying to convince me this is in-game footage, but it's all pre-rendered, because it looked way too damn good to be in-game footage. Even the scenes that were from first-person perspective. If it's in-game footage, give me a damn HUD. When you do the FOV, give me a damn HUD. Then I believe you. We good? We good, EA? I'm not. All in all, if I had to give EA a score, let's go with grade. Let's grade them today. It's a C minus. It's passable. You gave me games, but you were really trying to market the event you were hosting more than the actual knowledge, like to sell something. So you kind of fell short there for me. I'm giving you a C minus on, like, I'm being generous with the C minus. It really should just be a straight up D. But the reason you're getting the C minus is because you have the Star Wars property and there's a lot of potential there. And you're giving Titanfall a single player, which I wanted in the first one. So, we'll see how that goes. Hang on. Gotta wipe that up. Now, the other press conference that was held today, still being Sunday, not Monday, was one of my favorite studios, Bethesda, from ZeniMax. I hope you guys can read that, because it looks weird to me. Bethesda's conference started off with a surprise. A really big surprise. Quake, baby. And it's back. Bethesda really wants into this competitive shooter trend that seems to be popping up. You know, Battleborn and Overwatch have picked up. So, Quake. It's going to be called Quake Champions. They're going to have more at QuakeCon, but they're promising us 120 hertz and an unlocked frame rate. So, for you people who complain about that kind of thing, good luck. You want to know what I hear? Yay, that's a $250 upgrade to my rig for a better graphics card and processor. Thanks, Bethesda. And they're also looking into putting Quake back into competitive esports outside of QuakeCon. Awesome. After that, we got some Elder Scrolls Legends news. We got to see some gameplay footage, and there is a campaign mode, which I thought was very interesting, which will tell an Elder Scrolls story we've never heard before. So it either is like before ESO or after ESO, but before, who was the god? The first Dragonborn Emperor of the Imperial Capital, stuff like that. They're saying that will be out later this year, and they opened the beta up for more invites. So go to Bethesda.net and see what you can do. Oh, this comes the fun part. We got Fallout 4 DLC news. Oh, it was a video, and Todd Howard himself wasn't there. It was an interesting little bit of video. We got our next 3 workshops. 3, count them. Uno, dos, tres. The first one is contraptions, which looks like you can make like Rube Goldberg type machines. The second one was Vault Tech. You get to build a vault. They literally did the one thing we joked about last year. Like, if you paid attention to any of the Bethesda Fallout community, one of the running jokes in that whole thing was what if they put Fallout Shelter in Fallout? Well, guess what? They heard us. They did. Man, I feel like an ass for that joke. Those will... Okay, and those actually, we got release windows for those. The contraptions one will be out next week. And July's one will get Vault Tech. Coming in August, we're getting Nuka World. So, those were leaked. Those were the leaked DLC packages that got really leaked a few months back, or a few weeks back. I'm really going to have to start investing in makeup for this, because I can still see that glare, and this keeps riding back, and I can't tighten it anymore, and I don't want to take it off because the glare will be worse. Okay, but back to this. They introduced Nuka World. I think it's going to be along the same size as Far Harbor, so I at least expect it to be either the same size as Mechanist or bigger and close to Far Harbor in size. So we will see. And that will be out in August. There's also a Fallout Shelter update, which adds quests and changes how the combat works. So, quest and exploration, so that's cool. And the last thing that Todd Howard announced, which we kind of expected was coming, yes, we are getting a Elder Scrolls Skyrim remastered edition. It's called Special Edition. Everything's upscaled, new lighting, new graphics, and mod support. Yay! The fight between PC and consoles is getting meaner and meaner right now with Fallout, so I'm very curious as to what's going on. The next thing they showed made me so happy. And I'm going to go ahead and announce this. This will probably end up replacing my RPG Friday stream for a while. Not right now, but okay, let's get away from site news for a minute. We got a Prey trailer. That's right, baby. Prey 2 lives. I don't know if this is a reboot or reimagining, but it's definitely Prey. So, coming soon, my Friday streams, when I can get my everything fixed, I am playing Prey. Just to get myself caught up. I'm excited. Like, I am very excited for Prey. After Prey, they announced that we would have more about it at QuakeCon. I mean, I can't hate them for that. I mean, we got a lot of Fallout news from QuakeCon too. So, we'll see what we get to the public. Because there was a lot of stuff from the Fallout thing that we didn't get. So, Doom got a lot of fun announcements. Mostly DLC-wise. Doom was what came next. Free updates for the Snap Maps. Free multiplayer mode updates, a multiplayer demo, and for this week alone, in celebration of E3, you can download and play on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 4 the first level of the game. So, a Doom demo! A Doomo? No. Yeah, I said that out loud, and it hurt me a little. Next, they had ESO. The two big things for ESO was they talked about the Dark Brotherhood DLC console launch coming out soon, and they're launching the game in Japan on June 23rd. That's huge news. They've got 7 million players right now. Japan alone with their MMO audience could bump that up a lot. They also talked about something that intrigues me. They're calling it One Tamriel. Essentially, they're removing the rubber banding. What that means is, as soon as you finish the starting instance, the starting zone quest line, you can go anywhere, quest with anyone, and do anything. They open the world of Tamriel up, regardless of your level. That's frightening. But it sounds like a lot of fun. No MMO has done that yet. Oh, this next one. I just looked at my notes. This next one both surprised me and excited me because this could make me an adopter of this and may have picked the one I will adopt first. So, Bethesda's getting into VR. They're calling it Bethesda VR, and they're doing it with Doom and Fallout. And Fallout will be available for the HTC Vive in 2017. Had to check my notes. They're trying to remember, had to check my notes. But that's an amazing piece of news. Bethesda's one of those companies that could push it. I don't think that's where VR needs to go. I think the entertainment industry as a whole needs to look at it. When I say the entertainment industry, I don't mean like Hollywood. I mean concert venues and promotions and stuff like that. To be able to get to be able to throw my these goggles on, and then be it like a flippin' Blink-182 concert or Rob Stein or like a wrestling event. That is what I would do with VR. In a heartbeat. Alright. And they ended the game with something pretty awesome. They ended the show with their last game, Dishonored 2. They announced it last year. This year we got some gameplay footage. It looks to be like the good ending is canon, the one where Corvo stays and helps Emily become Empress. That's canon. We're getting both Emily and Corvo fully voiced protagonists. We saw a lot of Emily gameplay footage because she has a new set of powers that are very different from Corvo's. Corvo will have the same powers he had from the last game, but upgraded. I think cranked to 11 is the best way to put it. They have a custom game engine, which they're calling the Void Engine. The only thing that I came away from this wondering was, they talked about choice while they were showing off some of the gameplay, but they never elaborated, and that was one of my big problems with Dishonored 1, was I couldn't, the more people you killed, the worse the town got, and potentially locked you out of certain endings. So I don't know. I hope that's not a factor in this game, because then me and this game will fight, even though I will love it for its atmosphere and its story. But let's hope it's not that open-ended where you have to be okay, if you're going to walk this path, you can't stab anybody. Or if you're going to walk this path, stabby McStab stab path, be prepared. People are going to shit on you. Should have closed my door. That's cool. We'll be seeing that November 11th of this year. And there is a collector's edition. It's going to come with a replica Corvo mask, which is pretty cool sounding. I'm not going to pick that up. I mean, I bought the Pip-Boy edition for Fallout, but I love Fallout so much more. But when you do pre-order, whether it be digital or physical, you will get a copy of the definitive edition on that console you pre-ordered for. So that's awesome news. That wraps up Bethesda. Last year, I would have given them an A. It wasn't hard. That's how great their show was last year. This year, B-. They pass. They did everything I wanted them to do, but at the same time, they did everything I expected them to do. I expected gameplay footage of all of these games. I expected release dates for at least 2 of them. I expected the Elder Scrolls Remastered Edition. I expected DLC news from Fallout and Doom. Prey was a nice surprise. Quake was a nice surprise. But they weren't, like, big enough surprises. So, to recap, at E3 this year, I'm giving EA a C-. Just because they're looking to like they're going in the right direction with certain things, and they're not alienating a certain, like, they're not being alienating. But I'm at the same time giving Bethesda a B-. No, solid B. It's solid B right now for not doing more. That and Todd Howard wasn't there. It was Pete Hines the whole time, and I was a little disappointed. Don't get me wrong, I like Pete Hines. That man on social networking is hilarious and will put you in your place if you dare cross him. But that being said, that wraps up day one. It really does. I'm excited for the rest of the week. I really am. Nintendo's is the one I'm most just curious about, since they publicly said that the only game they will have on the show floor will be Legend of Zelda for the Wii U and the NX. They're not even going to have, and you won't even be able to see the NX version. So that's confusing. Like, the NX isn't going to be at E3 at all. And that launches next year. Like, spring of next year. But, all that said and done, we'll move on to tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to live tweet without my power going out. So, can't make any promises. Because apparently I live in a third world country and it took them 6 hours to get my power back on. Longer. Yeah, power went out at 4. Didn't come back on until almost 10. Yeah, 6 hours. 6 hours. So, yeah, there's that. So, yeah, that's said and done. Thank you for watching. Hit those like and subscribe buttons below. And I will see you with more E3 very soon.